What's up, y'all? Do I look like I've been working for a long time?
You look very dirty.
I'm filthy. So we're starting late again. We keep starting late because this morning, or I guess the whole day now, I've been grinding on this thing, trying to get rid of, trying to do all the nitty gritty stuff that's not fun to watch on camera. Because as you know, we're trying to make this 2-drift event in 3 days, and the car hasn't ran yet. It's got no exhaust. It's never left jack stands, and everything's great. But we got a lot done this morning, made good progress, and hopefully in a matter of like an hour or two, this thing will start for the first time. We tightened up a bunch of odd ends. I mocked up some E36 headers. They're fully bolted down. For you guys who are thinking about doing 24 valve swap in your E30, I have no idea what kind of headers these are. These came with that purple end rig. It was in the trunk, and for some reason they fit like beautifully. So these are E36 eBay headers. Sick. It took me 3 hours to tighten down every single goddamn exhaust stud bolt. There's so many. You know how many LS is used? Like
4.
Yeah, like 4.
4.
Yeah, this is 40 or something. 24. That's the number, 24. So besides that, I tied up the wiring, finished with the vacuum lines, and I took out the rear diff finally. That is a whole nother issue that we'll talk about in a little bit. We've been trying to configure drive shafts all morning. As you can tell, my E36 is on stealing parts off of that, and everything's fine. So, got fluids in it. Got my new ECU. We're just talking this out right now. Got my new ECU right here. This is a MS3 Pro. Derek got me a really good deal on this. He's a huge Megasort guy, so thank you, Derek. This is a plug and play for the E36, which is really cool. So it's a full MS3 ECU, but we can literally take it. It goes like this, and done. We got to run a vacuum line to it, and we'll have a full standalone ECU with speed density. You can't beat that. So grounds are ran, power wires are ran, everything's ran. Hopefully all I have to do now is hook up a battery that I now have to go buy, because every time you buy a damn car you need a battery. It's a lot of talking right there. Hope you guys are caught up to speed on the E30. One thing we got to add real quick before we get started this thing is the jumper harness. So these are cool. You can buy this online. I actually got this from Garagistics. Garrett, how do you say it?
Like logistics, Garagistics.
It sounds classy when you say it. Yeah, Garagistics. The guys down at Garagistics, they're the homies. They've been helping me out. Honestly, I've bought almost every part I've needed for this in terms of like swap pieces from them. I'll put the link in the description. Great stuff, great price, you can't beat it. And this is their jumper harness. We're gonna literally be plugging that. Come on. Yep, there you go. And that's how you wire an E36 into an E30. You guys ready to start this thing? Yeah?
Let it bang.
You guys ready to start this thing? Yeah?
Let it bang.
Let it bang.
Oh, what? I have to drain the gas tank.
Gas in there.
You guys, Mike, say hi. You've been in a few videos so far.
What's going on?
It's my old school homie, so he's been around helping us lately.
Yep. It's a lot of work. He does a lot of stuff.
Thank you, homie. We appreciate you. All right, let's get a battery on this thing and hope the ECU doesn't get fried. See if any of this works. Plot twist, nothing works. Maybe the fuel pump would work. Ooh, Henry's out. Look at him. Oh, Henry! What's up, homeboy? You wanna come shit? Oh yeah, he's gonna come out. So there's power getting to a few accessories, but it's not getting to the fuse panel itself, which makes sense why there's no power in the car. Probably just one wire missing, but I found where the fuel pump fuse is, and we can put power straight to it. And you could hear it.
Yep. Oh, there it is. It's down here. Oh, that tank sounds dry.
Yeah, dude. So it's super loud. So the tank sounds super dry, which is good news. Like, I wonder if the previous owner was just like, "Yo, it's gonna be sitting for a while. Let's drain the tank," or something else happened. So I just got 5 gallons of gas. We're gonna throw it in, and hopefully it's just empty, and that's why it's making that noise. A lot of cobwebs under this one. Low 5. He just did a low 5. It was sick. He did it again. Wash your damn hands.
I'm dirtier than he is.
Are you just saying?
Oh, he's out.
Good to go.
Many minutes later.
So no matter what the hell I do, I can't get power to anywhere in the chassis, and it all starts in the fuse box. So we're getting power to the fuse box, we measured it, but nothing's coming out of it. So it seems like it's gotten to the point where I just have to check it out internally, because I've checked all the obvious stupid stuff. Who
opened that up and disconnected
who is in here? Yo, if you're watching this and you were in here, fuck you. Like, this sucks.
Yo, stay out my shit.
Stay out my shit, dog. Oh my god, look at this. I mean, would you ever guess that internally your fuse
No,
panels
because
all
the
this-
screws were put in and all the relays, and it was covered up. That was intentional.
Someone
It's sabotage.
Someone sabotaging you.
Full race.
Yeah, I think it was Chip.
Chip?
It was Chip.
It was 100.
Chip, if you watching this, you motherfucker, I'm coming for you. So, as you guys see, it's kind of like a big circuit board almost that has like terminals on it. And the main power terminals, these and these, can you see them on the camera?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Are actually supposed to go right to here. So, just like we thought, the power was not reaching it to the fuse panel, and I would have never guessed that some asshole detached it. Yes!
Oh, man.
Let's check all our systems up here. Yep. Oh, boy.
Hey, cranks, yeah. Cool.
What?
Someone unbolted the main power wire inside the fuse panel.
Yeah, dude. it's
Yeah,
weird.
that's exactly what I was thinking. So you finally got this separated, and that's what it was.
It's always what
There's
you
no. There's when
I know we said that we're like the only way that this could be an issue is if it's separate in the inside, but how would that even happen? Someone skunked us. How you feeling?
feeling good.
All right, so I didn't even plug into the ECU. There should be like a stock BMW base map already loaded on it. So we have the fuel pump hardwired, we have the ECCS relay hardwired, and hopefully it'll magically run. It's worth a shot.
Going for it.
You live?
Yep.
Yeah.
We live.
Wants it. At 9 volts.
All right, we got reinforcements. This one's not that charged either.
It might make up one good battery. You say when you want fuel?
Yeah.
Woo! There we go.
This just came off. That's all.
Oh.
That's all that.
All right, fuel.
It's always just the damn voltage.
Thing sounds like a V8 right now. Hell yeah. Good job, guys. Well, we were just a little low on voltage, and everything's great. Well, guys, on 3. 30-30. 1, 2, 3. 30-30. Woo!
Good girl.
The engine idled great. I'm really happy. I mean, the exhaust was so loud we couldn't hear the engine, but you could tell when these things are hurt. It's very obvious. It wasn't smoky.
even ticky.
Yeah, it wasn't ticky, like especially for a Beamer. So now we have to finish off the intake. I got to tidy up a few things, and almost every system is done besides the coolant system. But we're literally a fan controller and barb fitting away from having a complete coolant system, which is a really big deal. So this was good. This was a good win. I'm feeling good about this. We got 2 more days realistically to get this thing driftable, so we'll see. I have to take a trip to FCP Euro in the morning. We have to get calipers all around because I neglected the fact that these would all be seized. We have to hope and pray that the drive shaft fits, and I still need to somehow find the correct diff that we need for this chassis because the 2 I found were not right. So, and then we got to tune it. Then we got to do the line. Everything's great. I'm gonna get grinding back tomorrow and we'll be good to go. But something we've been going all day. It's a long ass day. It's late, but there's one more thing I want to do before we go home, just because I've been dying to do it all day, and that is install my new chassis mounted shifter.
This thing is sweet.
Dude,
I'm
how
excited.
are you jealous?
I can't wait to feel it because it's gonna decide whether or not I get one.
Oh, you're totally gonna be suckered again one after this, dude. So, Garagistics. Ooh, got it first time this time, right? Garagistics, nice name. So this is one of their pieces. Also, I mean, they make like everything for these cars, and I saw they had such awesome reviews that I knew I had to get one, and it's way too nice of a piece to miss out on it. So shout out to them for getting this out so quickly, because I know there's a long waiting list on these, and I was able to jump the line just a little bit, so appreciate you guys. Though this thing looks pretty crazy, this is actually easier to install than the factory shifter, so that was also a big plus for me. So right here we have the whole shifter assembly itself. This is it, that's all you really get. But I also upgraded the shifter rod right here. So this is a really nice piece of stainless that has mounting size on both ends instead of the factory one that has it on one end. So this eliminates quite a bit of side-to-side play, making the shifter feel even tighter. So we're gonna bolt this up first, and we'll do the selector rod after. But all we have to do, I swear it's just easy, is we have to unbolt all 6 of these Allen keys. It's gonna open this up, and we just gotta sandwich it on the shifter hole.
That's it.
That's it. This piece comes off right here, and I didn't even notice, but there's like an indent in the tranny tunnel. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. And I think, yeah, it just like sits in it. So you don't gotta like line anything up or anything. Yeah, look at this. I think the medium height was definitely the choice for me. Some people like tall shifters. They make one like with an OEM height, which is like still cool, but this one, not ridiculous, but it shows that you got some style. Now B, you wanna go underneath and do the honors?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, right there.
Do some shifting.
Show them how it works.
What? You just stick these things in there under the car, and then bam, it's done.
Hell yeah, let's get to it. Really missing that lift right about now. Can you see my forehead tan? I hope not.
Drastically.
Really? Oh no. So we have the rod, we have our pin, and we have like a little Delrin bushing. Put that in there. There you go. Another bushing. Really painful C-clip. You see it? Mm-hmm. So we can adjust the throw of the shifter to like super short or to like OEM long, and we should do that now before we put the damn car together. So let's check it out. Oh, dude! I don't know. I kind of like it. It has like it feels soft. Like I feel like usually the like solid shifters are like really like harsh feeling. Like it has like a very soft feel, but it's just so confident when it goes in the gear. What do you think of the throw?
Oh wow. Oh no, that's sick. I know what you mean by soft. Like it has like a little, has this extra, but it's, yeah, it is super. Like the stop is like very strong. You know, has a very strong, like you could hammer that right there. It's just
Bong.
bong. Like that's, yeah, that's all you need.
Dude, that just took like, what, 6 minutes to install.
Yeah, no, very simple to install. I mean, it's less pieces than factory. The only thing with this is you have to have like solid or close to mounts for the engine and transmission.
Yeah, you can't run like OEM style mounts
not at all.
because the play in the drivetrain will actually cause shitty shifter feel. So,
Yeah, it might like screw up your shit.
yeah, it might even cause you misshift. So, dude, I just need a little shifter boot now. Okay, now she's looking official.
That was a nice little pick me up at the end of the day. We struggled a little bit early on fighting just things not bolted up. That
Yeah,
we
yeah. This was an
expected
easy
to be.
victory. This was an easy
It was
victory.
easy victory. Good little pick.
Yeah, thank you, Garagistics, for making our life pretty easy on this one. We feel like we earned it.
Yeah.
Although it may not look it, I've been wrenching on this thing nonstop for the last 12 hours, and I am so beat. But we made good progress today. Got a lot of the annoying random stuff done. Shifters in, engine runs somehow, and now I have a big list of stuff that I need to get in the morning. Head down to FCP, pick them up, and hopefully we can get this thing to move under its own power tomorrow. It's a big stretch, but I'm hoping we can do it because we need to do it to then drive it to Justin's to then get the exhaust made. And We got this. So we're gonna end it. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and have a good night. Thank you guys for watching.